Coming up on Maverick Postgame, find out the results from quite arguably the most historic weekend in the history of CMU Sports.
Plus, we take a look back at the weekend for men's and women's lacrosse as their season picks up steam.
All that and more coming up next on Maverick Postgame. Welcome to Maverick Postgame. We have a lot to cover in what was a busy weekend here in CMU, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm Joe Azar.
And I'm Bryce Reedy. We start things off on the basketball court where arguably CMU's greatest basketball player of all time set a historic mark. After taking down Chadron State Friday 88-66, Ryan Stephan needed 35 points to reach 2,000 in his collegiate career. He had an opportunity to reach that feat Saturday night against Regis. CMU had an 8-point lead entering the second half, but Regis came back to make it a close game. The Mavericks have played the closest game the Mavericks have played all season. CMU's star player, however, rose to the occasion once again. Ryan Stephan reached the 2,000-point mark after making a free throw and pointing up to his dad. He wasn't done there, though. Stephan tied the record for most points in a single game by a Mav with 45, including the game-winning and one with 5 seconds to go for the 86-83 CMU victory. Stephan also had 14 for his 20th double-double, which leads the nation. With the win, CMU clinches at least a number 4 seed in the RMAC tournament, meaning that they will host a game at Bronson Arena. Before the tournament begins, however, they have a chance to reach a higher seed by taking on Westminster on Friday.
All right, transitioning from the basketball court to the baseball diamond, where the Mavs faced off against Cal Baptist on the road. Last year, CMU took 2 out of the 3 games from the Lopers, but the team from Cali made their mark when they took the first game. CMU returned the favor this year, winning the first game on Friday with an easy 6-1 win. Mitch Robinson's home run was the highlight of his 3 RBI performance. Pitcher J.R. McNerbert's first start of the season was brilliant, allowing 1 run on 5 hits, striking out 3 to get the victory in the series opener.
Friday's win meant that manager Chris Hanks was the only 1 game shy of winning 700 in his career, and in order to reach that mark, CMU had to battle against the Lopers yet again. CMU and Cal Baptist kept on trading runs in the first 3 innings, meaning that the game was tied entering the top of the 9th. Bly Madris then drew a walk, and with the bases loaded to bring Alex Fife home to get the winning run in Hank's 700th victory. James Young, the third, finished the game 2 for 4 with a run scored and 2 runs driven in. He hit his first home run of the season in the second inning to the Mavericks for a 4-2 lead at the time. Nick Borowski pitched the final 4 and 2/3 innings of shutout baseball to earn the win in the game. The win was Borowski's second win of the season in relief for Colorado Mesa. He allowed just 4 hits and struck out 8 while facing 17 batters. Sadly, the celebration was cut short as the Mavs lost the nightcap of the doubleheader as the Lopers scored the first 4 runs of the game in a 6-1 loss for CMU.
After their first loss of the season, CMU looked to rebound and take the series from the Lopers. They would have their work cut out for them, though, as the Mavs had to come back from a 4-2 deficit after 3 innings. CMU showed everyone why they're number 4 team in the nation in the innings that followed, tying things up with a run each in the following 2 innings before James Young III once again came up big with a sacrifice fly to give CMU a 5-4 win. The Mavs will now return home for a 4-game series against Dixie State starting on Friday.
Women's basketball ensured that they would win at least 2 out of their remaining 3 games as they looked down Chadron State and Regis this past weekend. Taylor Wagner got his 100th win as CMU coach on Friday in a 73-62 win over the Eagles. Sydney Small had a game-high 16 points and Brianna Adams shortly behind her with 14. Saturday against Regis, it was Adams' turn to top the scoring charts as her 22 points was a big part of the team's 70-60 win. Small added 19 of her own, while Lauren Rivera and Siu Lobamenu each had 11 points. They will look to finish the regular season on a strong note Friday night against Westminster as well.
Softball opened up RMAC play this weekend with 2 wins against Fort Lewis. CMU led 3-0 after 2 innings when they exploded in the 5th, scoring 9 runs in the 12-0 shutout of the Skyhawks. Kayla Jacoby had a game-high 3 RBI with Brooke Hodgson bagging RBIs and Alexa DeFore finishing the countdown with 1 of her own. The offensive production continued in Game 2 for Mesa, who scored 8 runs on 14 hits in an 8-1 win. RMAC Preseason Player of the Year Michaela Kobach went 3 for 4 at the plate with 3 RBIs. Sarah Phyllis was 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Rochelle Telemontes entered her first win of the season, allowing 0 runs on 5 hits in 3.1 innings of work. The series ended on Sunday with them winning both games. Softball welcomes Dixie State now on Tuesday for a doubleheader.
The men's lacrosse team is expected to do big things this season as well, entering this weekend's game ranked 15th in the nation. Their opponent, Westminster, however, pounced on them early to get out to a 5-1 lead at halftime. CMU's 6 goals in the second wouldn't be enough as the Mavs fell 12-7 in their RMAC opener. The women's team, however, entered the second half of their game with an 8-7 lead against Regis, but the Rangers would go on to score 8 goals of their own in the second half, opposed to the Mavericks' 4 in a 15-12 loss. Both teams look to rebound their next game, with the women playing Adams State on March 5th and the men playing February 29th against Augusta College.
It's time for our Maverick of the Week, and this should really be no surprise as the Maverick Center Career Achievement Award goes out to Ryan Stephan as he gets the nod after this historic accomplishment. Stephan reaches 2,000 points on a night that he certainly will remember. Stephan had 45 points and 16 boards for his nation-leading 20th double-double. Stephan also becomes the 3rd player in CMU's history to reach 2,000 points, but he is the first person to ever do so in Division II college. His final points were the most crucial, though, through 2 Regis players to make the bucket and draw the and one in the win. Stephan put another great nail on the hammer on his great legacy at CMU, which is why he is our Player of the Week.
We have Ryan Stephan here today in the studio, right here next to me. How you doing, Ryan?
Great, how are you?
Pretty good. So, to get things started, has it sunk in that you reached the 2,000 point mark yet?
I don't think so. I actually think that more it's the 45 as opposed to the 2,000 that's been in my mind as of late, but I'm sure it will here soon.
So I know I talked to you at the beginning of the season a little bit for some other stuff, and you were saying that was one of your goals that you were looking forward to getting this season. Does it feel any different now, or does the realization that you actually have achieved it now, does it feel any different than it did at when you were still looking for it at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I thought it was definitely going to be tougher to do. Not to say that, it wasn't hard. It's just I thought I was going to be, doubled a lot more, and just teams were going to not be able to let me put up as many points as I want to. So I don't know how to describe it. I guess it's awesome that it happened, but I honestly did not think I was going to get there. I thought I'd be too much of a focal point on other teams' defenses. And just the fact that I'm there now, I don't really know what to look forward to next as far as individual goals. I mean, it's pretty much all team stuff from here on out.
So when you were 3 points away, everybody was thinking, you were going to get it either a 3-pointer or an and one, just the way that your game is played, and that's just how sports moments tend to work. So when you got the and one call and you're going to the free throw line, what are you thinking at that point?
Well, yeah, I mean, I knew I was 3 away, and I wanted to hit a 3 because I broke 1,000 with 3. But I got the and one, and I just was like, okay, you cannot miss this free throw. I mean, that would be crazy embarrassing. And I saw people holding up ones in the stands, and there was all kinds of cell phones on the baseline, people I didn't even know. So I was like, you just have to make this free throw to cap it off, and thank goodness it went in.
So you said your dad was there to be able to watch this game. How big of an impact was that he, knowing that he was there and then knowing that he got to share this moment with you in person?
It was awesome. He was there for 1,000, and he didn't come to the Shattering game the night before because the Glenwood Canyon was closed, and I told him the morning of the game on Saturday, I was like, Dad, I'm going to get it tonight. I was like, I can feel it. I was 35 away, but I was like, I'm going to go for it. And he hopped right in the car, him and my sister, and they drove out here, and it was awesome. I mean, I love having him there for every game, but I knew he would have to go 6.5 hours to get here, so I let him know, and they no hesitation drove out here, and I couldn't be more thankful.
So were you really wanting the ball, like from the opening tip, just saying, feed me, feed me? I mean, you had a really good size advantage against a lot of these guys, so I know that was probably part of the game plan, but then you got into a roll, so did that feed into the second half type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it was more of a game plan than it was let's break 2,000. I mean, their tallest guy out there was 6'5", so I just was like, give me their ball. They can't guard me. I mean, and we knew it, they knew it, and it just, and I know Senko got in foul trouble early, so that helped us out. And then as soon as I got rolling, I was like, okay, well, I might as well just break it, and this is our best offense at the time.
Yeah.
So I kept telling Amer and Brandon, I was like, just get to the middle and find me, and if they collapse on me, then you guys will shoot layups. And so we had a good combination of both of those and came out with the win.
So you scored 35 points. There's still like 8 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden, they start coming back, and they close in on you guys, and all of a sudden now this is an actual game. And so then you're still the focal point of this offense, and then you're still driving the force. Did you even think about or know the record of 45 points during the game, or is that something you found out after the fact?
When I scored 42 against Shadron a few weeks back, I knew about the 45, and I was going for it then because we had a comfortable lead against them. But when Regis started coming back, I was not thinking about at the school record at all. I was like, this is unbelievable. How I kept looking up at the official board on the opposite side with percentages and stuff, and I'm like, how are they in this game? And every time I turned a box out, it looked like another three-pointer was going through the net. So I was like, I got to do everything I can to put the stamp on them and say, you're not coming back to win this game. And thank goodness that happened with 5 seconds left.
Yeah. So then I know that it was really close at the end, and it could have gone either way, and you guys did thankfully win the game. Would your reaction after the game have been different had you end up losing the game by 1 point or whatever it was? Would it have put a damper on the whole 2,000 point mark?
Oh yeah, I would have been furious. Hats off to Regis, they're a good team, but our record versus theirs, us being on our home floor, them being young, and me being the senior leader I'm supposed to be, I was just like, there's no way we can lose this game. That would be not embarrassing, but just, we needed to build all the momentum we can going into the RMAC tournament. They have no hopes for RMAC tournament play. It would have been a bad loss. And so it would have been a spoiler. I would have been furious. I probably would have not wanted to go out to dinner or anything like that after the game. So I'm glad we didn't have to face that.
What did you end up doing after the game?
Just went to Applebee's with my dad, my sister, and my girlfriend, and had a couple bites to eat, and then went home. I was exhausted. My feet hurt. After the weekend, I have nothing left.
All right, so now with this 2,000 point total broken, does it feel like there's something lifted off your shoulders, at least for a little bit, considering the fact that you still have one more game in the regular season, and then following that you have the RMAC playoffs, knowing that you don't have to really, that's not something that you're still trying to get?
Absolutely. I was talking to a couple guys on the team about it that knew. I wasn't trying to convey the message like, hey guys, I want to get 35, but the ones who asked me about it, I was like, yeah, I would definitely like to get it out of the way tonight if that's how it happens, because with last home game and senior night and all the shenanigans that go with that, and I just didn't want to be worrying about it, or let's say I was a couple points away and I get that early against Westminster, but they're up 5 or 10. I wouldn't have been able to really enjoy it. So I'm glad it's out of the way for sure, and then it could have taken me 2 games to get to 35, and I definitely didn't want to do it in the RMAC tournament because you're so focused about just trying to win that championship. So it was definitely a good time to get it done.
Speaking of the RMAC tournament, you guys did clinch a spot, and you'll get at least one more home game in the tournament. What do you guys got to focus on as you're getting closer to that point in the season, and to be able to advance in this tournament, saying that it is your last season?
Getting a home game, the fact that we earned that is monumental for the first round. And then once you get to the actual shootout, whoever ends up hosting it, just try not to get caught up in the moment. The last time I went was my freshman year, and I didn't play a whole lot. And I was so dazzled by, the fact that we all 4 teams had a dinner together, and there's all kinds of T-shirts and NCAA signs everywhere. It's just, you get really excited, but it's more or less, you just need to focus on your scouting report, doing your job, and not let anything distract you. So hopefully we can get to that point, but I think just the fact that we clinched a first round home game, no matter who it's against, is huge.
All right, and then just the final question I have for you. When you came in as a freshman, did you ever think that you would get to this point in your career?
Absolutely not. I was barely recruited as it was, and then, signing with Mesa was just a blessing that they found me at their team camp here. And then, my freshman year, I played 7 minutes a game. I backed up an all-conference player who just killed me in practice every single day. So I did not think I was going to become who I did, and I'm very, very thankful for everyone who's helped me out and helped me get here.
All right, and so that's all we have today here for Maverick Postgame. This is Ryan Stephan. See you next week, guys.